What's up, guys? James Miller Media here, coming at you with another episode of the Saving Seattle series. Before we jump into this off-season episode, I have some housekeeping stuff that I want to address really quick. If you don't want to listen to this, I obviously always have timestamps down in the description below. You can see where the chapters are. So if you just want to skip through this, just look for the next chapter that will be going over the awards. But now, here is the housekeeping items. I'm not going to be able to keep up the daily uploads for this series. I know that's going to upset some of you guys. Other of you guys may understand. I have absolutely loved creating this series, coming back into content creation and going back into out of the park baseball in front of a crowd. It's been wonderful. The response has been amazing, and this is something I want to continue to do. But if I'm going to continue to do it, I need to set up some ground rules for myself. In the coming months, there's going to be a lot of change in my life just simply because of the circumstances I find myself in. So, first and foremost, in the beginning of July was the end of my fiscal year 25 for the company I work for and in my work. And in doing that, we had an okay year, not a good year, not a bad year, but with the projects that I manage and the projects that I touch, they were among the highlights of the year. Therefore, when a good employee does good work, you get more put on your plate. So I am nudge, nudge, wink, wink promoted at my job. I was told that it was going to be something seen around bonus time, so I'm just going to be a little bit apprehensive going into it. But with my client and who they are, I want to make sure that I do my work well over there. So I will be spending more time working and have less time to record. On top of that, in the next few months, I have a lot of major life changes happening. So my wife is currently in school, and she will be graduating in August from a school of nurse anesthesiology, and we are going to be moving to where she accepted her job in Houston. Currently, we live in the DFW area, so a major city move like that is going to come with a lot of logistics, some of which means that I'll be packing up my computer stuff, packing up all of my things, and moving them for probably a week in advance. And because of that, I won't be able to record. This won't be until September, but with only having 8 or so weeks until we move, there's a lot of moving parts going into that, a lot of packing, a lot of visiting people for the last time, and I want to make sure that I experience the DFW area to its fullest. So instead of recording over the weekends, I will be actually spending time with people, going outside. I know, a gamer that touches grass, it's crazy in this year of 2025. But I do want to spend time with the people and the friends that I've met up here, so I'm also going to have less time to record. And third and finally, when we move back to Houston, the entire month of September will be spent, my wife and I, traveling. So that first weekend of September when we move, we won't have anything. The second weekend of September, we'll be going to visit some family friends in Tennessee. The third weekend of September, my wife has a bachelorette party that she's going to. The fourth week of September, my wife and I will be flying for a graduation trip to France. And obviously, I'm not bringing my computer with me to go do that. So, yeah, we're just, the entire month of September is chalked, especially considering the rest of the time we'll be moving back in with my parents until my wife and I find a house to either buy or rent. And that's just because it's going to be my parents offered. They have a lot of space. They're empty nesters, and they really, really want me and my wife to spend some time with them because we've been away for a couple of years now. So, I'm not going to want to be yelling at the top of my lungs about Rafael Devers almost hitting a home run or getting screwed over by this game for the 40th time. Out of the park baseball is going to out of the park baseball. But in doing that, I want to spend a lot of time with my parents, especially because we never know how much time our parents have left. However, in October, whenever my wife and I are able to settle back down, settle back into a routine, I have a couple series in mind that I want to try out, and I'll be going back to full-time out of the park baseball content creation. What that means for the immediate series right now is I'm going to go from uploading every single day of the week to either 3 or 4 days of the week. I'll be uploading every Monday, Wednesday, Friday with an occasional upload over the weekend. If we make playoffs and stuff like that, I might just include that as extra uploads, but I don't know. I want to make sure that you guys have plenty of content through that time where I'm not able to make as much content. And the best way that I've been able to find out, or best way that I can do that, is just cut back a little bit on the upload schedule, but continue to produce and promote as much as I can. Now that all of that is out of the way, if you have any questions, feel free to let me know in the comments. Feel free to give me some feedback in the comments. If you're going to be missing my uploads, please let me know. If that leaves you to unsubscribe, let me know. I just want any feedback that you guys can have. And if the honesty and transparency and the breaking of the fourth wall is something that you look forward to, I love having conversation. Please engage with me in the comments down below. Now that the rest of you guys have joined back for us, let's go ahead and jump into this off-season episode and look at where we are ending up at. And that is one heck of a way to get into this. So we are going to go into the news and look at all of the major awards. So let's look at AL Gold Glove winners. So we have an AL Gold Glove winner in Joseph Montalvo, good for him. Jose Trevino wins his first Gold Glove, I believe. Second Gold Glove, good for him. Jeimer Candelario wins the first glove. Cole Young gets his first Gold Glove of his young career. Michael Garcia, Anthony Volpe, Estuary Ruiz, the former Mariner, Parker Meadows, and Kyle Tucker, the former Mariner as well. NL players are Louis Varland, Patrick Bailey, Sal Stewart, Tommy Edman, Yohan Moncada, Edwin Arroyo, Jackson Churio, Brenton Doyle, and Cam Canarella. Reliever of the year goes to Jose Budo. Mason Miller came in second. David Bednar, Yainer Canero, and Skylar Hales are also honorable mentions. NL reliever of the year is Brock Stewart, Devin Williams, Travis Garnett, Carmen Mlodonsky. Jeez, I'm terrible at pronouncing names, but I know I butchered that one. Jesus Tinoco, and Derek Smith. Silver Sluggers are as follows. They are Logan O'Hoppe, Tyler Soderstrom, Theo Gillen, Braden Taylor, Gunnar Henderson, Riley Green, Julio Rodriguez looks to be our lone representative, Spencer Jones, and Wyatt Langford. National League Silver Sluggers are Francisco Alvarez, Juan Soto, Brooks Lee, former Mariner, good for him. Yusuke Inaba, real quick, want to highlight him. He had almost 200 strikeouts to almost 100 walks. Okay, that was actually a lot more productive of a year than I thought than he was going to have. Interesting. Okay. Edwin Arroyo, Jackson Churio, Jackson Merrill, Jordan Walker, and Ryan Clifford. Rookie of the year went to Luis Almeida with Joshua Lugo and Lonnie White Jr. as backups. And Yusuke Inaba won with Carson Benji, Cooper Pratt, and Ryan Osinski also getting votes. Manager of the year is Kevin Cash. Manager of the year is Carlos Mendoza. Grayson Rodriguez gets a Cy Young, with Brian Wu getting second place. Drew Rasmussen, George Kirby, Tariq Skubal, Noah Schultz, Max Fried, Garrett Crochet, Mason Miller, and Tobias Myers. Jared Jones wins the NL Cy Young over Hunter Green, Johnny Brito, Paul Skeens, Christopher Sanchez, Dustin May, and Braden Nett. Braden Nett would be a guy who I'd love to go out and get, but I doubt I can get him. MVP goes to Theo Gillen. He had a phenomenal year. Gunnar Henderson second. Braden Taylor, Logan O'Hoppe, Bobby Witt Jr., Anthony Volpe, Wyatt Langford, Cal Riley, Brent Rooker, Royce Lewis, Yordan Alvarez, Spencer Jones, Grayson Rodriguez, Kyle DeBarge, Julio Rodriguez, Adley Rutschman, and Tyler Soderstrom to figure out the rest. Jackson Churio, I mean, he won Gold Glove, he won Silver Slugger, and now he has an MVP to go into it. Juan Soto, Jackson Merrill, Robert Callas, who he looks phenomenal. Oh my gosh, that's wow. Good for them. Jordan Walker, Michael Harris II, Sal Stewart, Austin Riley, Edwin Arroyo, PCA, Yusuke Inaba, Francisco Alvarez, Lars Nootbaar. Man, he really turned it on whenever he went back to the NL. Charlie Condon, Ellie De La Cruz, Jackson Cuero, Patrick Bailey, Jared Jones, and Ryan Clifford round out the rest of the award winners. Now, we need to look at what happened for us. We're going to go straight to salaries because, you know, I talk salaries. So our arbitration eligible players, if I remember correctly, were Alek Manoah, Chandler Simpson, and one more. We went ahead and signed Alek Manoah to that $2.1 million extension. I think that's a fine deal for him. Nolan Jones, we went ahead and signed him for $2.05 million just because he came in and he did a decent job for us. If he turns out to be terrible, we can cut bait after him after this season. And then Chandler Simpson. I said Chandler Simpson saying like, yeah, you guys knew. No, I went ahead and made a trade. We made a lot of trades over the offseason. And let's go ahead and jump into it. Let's see. Right here is the first one. So on the first day of this offseason, I went ahead and made a big trade. I realized that I should have let Zach Gallen walk. So Zach Gallen under contract for 17, 16, and 15 millions over the next 3 years. I did not want the extra pitcher, so I went ahead and said, you know what, let's get rid of him. And this is the last year of arbitration for Ryan Walker. Let's let the Rays pitching factory take care of him. So what I did was I traded for Junior Caminero, just because I was like, you know what, he's going to be a versatile infielder. He's got a decent bat. He can play literally anywhere all the time. If he's a bench player, he's a bench player, whatever. But the big guy I wanted to get was Chandler Simpson. I wanted this profile right here and this profile right here. Sure, his OPS plus is 91 and 85 over the last 2 years, but I really don't care about that. What I do care about is the on-base percentage of 316 and 323 and his ability to get on base and get the extra base. He doesn't strike out a lot. He puts the ball in play. This is a guy that I want in the bottom of my lineup, and he has the perfect personality to put into this lineup. And yes, I know I went on a big rant about how I didn't want Stephen Kwan on this team, but I just felt like Chandler Simpson, the World Series MVP Chandler Simpson, could be a valuable asset to this team. Once we got him, I decided, you know what, Tavian Josenberger is a luxury that I don't really need. He's done well-ish. He has not performed at the major league level. He's awesome, but he's just a luxury I don't need. So I went ahead and got this prospect, Nick Green. Look at him. Oh my goodness. In the draft league, he was okay. Last year in rookie ball, he was absolutely disgusting. He has 3+ pitches already. 4th pitch is kind of meh. But if he can just figure out this control just a little bit or get a talent change randomness to this control, he's gonna be good. He's already in Tacoma. I'm probably gonna drop him down to Double A just because I want to see a little bit more time on him. But he just looks like too good of a pitcher to go after, to not, just have there. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Next trade I made was to also replace Yordan Alvarez. I went out and got Brent Rooker. So Brent Rooker, huge power numbers. Yes, it was an in-division trade. I don't care. 40 home runs, 36, 40, and 40 over the last 3 years. Absolutely has raked the last 3 years just as a pure bat. And this is a guy who I'm like, you know what? I want him in the middle of my lineup. I want for the next 2 years. I want them to retain that, and boom, we're good. What do we give up? Well, we gave up Joey V, a former first-round pick of ours, but he's just so far away from being developed. The low work ethic is not going to help him out. I think he is fully stalled at Double A. I don't think that he is going to be the guy that we want in major leagues, and I was like, you know what? We're going to cut bait on him. Also cut bait on Cole Reagans. They were very keen on him. I was like, you know what? If he's good, he's good. If he's not, he's not. And then Alex Cruz. This is a guy I'm a little bit sad of getting rid of, but hear me out. He's not going to throw high velocity at all. He has such a far way to go. His stuff only has a 35 rating. He's going to get hit. He doesn't have the great stuff or the great individual pitches to go out and do a good job. So I just said, you know what? If I can get Brent Rooker for a 17-year-old, I'm going to get Brent Rooker for a 17-year-old. It does a good job for me. I'm happy with it. It is whatever. Next trade that I made was a little bit more of a retool for me. Number one, I was ready to cut bait on Bo Bichette. He regressed heavily last year, so I traded him. He's under contract for the next 2 years. I didn't feel like we really needed a Bo Bichette type player. We need more of a power stroke. Also got rid of Tyler Mitchell, who he in rookie ball was okay. He has a great personality, but I don't see him as a bat that's going to truly break out with us. Plus, he's from Bristol, Connecticut. Kind of sent him back to his hometown team-ish. He's either going to be a Boston or a Yankees fan or a Mets fan, one of those three, being from Connecticut. But I was just like, you know what? I'm not mad about getting rid of him. And then they wanted Zach Levinson. I was like, this is a guy who I've been saying, please work, please work, please work. And he just has not been able to put it together. Last year, he was terrible for us. The year before that, sure, I see that apparently he was a 117 OPS plus, but 4 homers and 2 doubles in 75 plate appearances is 15 hits in 75 plate appearances and 14 strikeouts. Like, I'm sorry, those ratios just do not work for me. And we saw that exacerbated over the 210 at-bats with 50 strikeouts and 44 hits. So he's more likely to strike out than he is to get a base hit. So I was like, you know what? We're going to just cut bait. We're going to get out of this, and we're going to make it work some other way. Wow, Andrew Painter got traded. That's just an interesting thing I noticed. Ooh. Okay. Well, that's the situations that we made. Let's go ahead and just take a quick peek at our lineups. We have 20 pitchers that are apparently here. Patrick Forbes is not going to be ready for the beginning of the year, so he'll be on the IL. But where is he? Dean Livingston will be. Bryce Miller, when it comes to winter meetings, is going to be traded. I am fully on board of just, hey, he gone. Mike Russell, Luke Sennard, look at this guy. He was just on waivers over the last 2 years. He's only been able to play in AAA. I think he might have gotten hurt, but this is a kind of guy that I want to keep in our lineup. He still has 2 option years, so he is perfect for us. And then there was another guy, Micah Oshman. who was waived from Tampa Bay. He's a high A guy, but 2 option years left for him. We are going to stash him in Double A to start the year and let this guy work up. He looks decent already. He may not be a starter, but he's going to be at least a reliever. He has those 2 pitches there. Just 2 nice little grabs for us. But Brian Woo's going to be back. Connolly Early is going to be number 2. We have Cade Horton, number 3. Dean Livingston is our number 4. And if we can find one more player potentially, I actually might have him. And where is he? He is right here. Lance Williams, the 23-year-old. He is a 14th round pick for us, and he has just done amazing every single place. And I might just call him up. I might just say, you know what? You're coming straight to the top, because the rest of our guys up here, like Nolan Sparks is out. Will Riley didn't do great. Kevin Manel might actually come up. He was not good in AAA last year. Never mind. Nick Green, he was a trade with Cincinnati. He's definitely starting in Double A. Carter Jensen, he hasn't turned out good. So it just might be, if we don't find anyone in the minor leagues or major leagues or free agency, we got there eventually, it might be a Lance Williams avenue. Lineups wise, this is kind of what I came up with. We have Nolan Jones off the bench. We have Easton Carmichael off the bench. We have Wong Sai off the bench. I think Rich Hernandez, and I don't know who the heck this guy is, but apparently he's on our roster now. That's going to be a waive and designate for assignment. But we have Rich Hernandez. We have all these guys here. So between these 15, I think we're going to be good. Unless if we can get a huge, big, bopping third baseman. That's the only player that I think would improve this lineup. Not Rafael Devers, but Alex Bregman. Well, not Alex Bregman now because he's already too old, but you know what I mean. Anyways, this is the lineup that I think we're going to end up going with. I'm dropping Cole Young down to 6th just because I think he's going to do a lot better in this role. I want him to get back to that 130 OPS plus. Corbin Carroll started to turn stuff around in the leadoff role, so I'm going to leave him there. He's kind of the guy who's taking care of business there. Julio Rodriguez in 2, I think, is going to be better. Cal Riley, how many more years do we have of him? We have 3 more years. Okay, we need to win a World Series for him one more time in these next 3 years. Trey Morgan, I'm hoping, kind of breaks out. In fact, he's probably going to be my actual first baseman with Brent Rooker being my DH. He's just done so good. I'm so happy with this team now. We kind of have the perfect roster composition. And then we have an Easton Carmichael who's great off the bench. We have Nolan Jones who could play first base or left field. Not really right field, but that's also where we have Trey Morgan and Chandler Simpson and Corbin Carroll who can play every single outfield position at a positive rate. Junior Caminero, I think, can also play the outfield to a decent rate. Yeah, so we have absolutely a great roster this year. But let's see if there's any places that we can potentially... Let's see if there's any potential places that we can improve. Let's go to... Lars Nootbaar's on the trade block. Yeah, we got a bunch more people on the trade block now. Mason Wynn's on the trade block. Interesting. All right, let's look... Okay. Now, let's look at what free agents have filed. First, I like going through the international free agents. He's already with Colorado. Andreas Mora. We'll throw him a minor league contract. This guy, yeah, we'll throw you a minor league contract. We won't throw you a minor league contract. Third base, 38. We'll throw you a minor league contract. I like that profile, but he's already 29. No, let's not. Nope. Ooh, oh, he's already picked up. Dang. And, oh, hello. That's a right fielder. What does he want? That is the biggest contract I think I've ever seen from. Let's just see if he'll take $20 million for 10 years. $20 million for 8. Let's see. Nope. Wow. Oh my gosh, you want to talk about a doubles machine? He's just going to hit the ball and hit the ball into the gap. He actually has the speed to do it. He's not going to strike out a lot. This is an awesome player. Line drive hitter, normal. Yeah. Wow. That's a really good player. Too bad we don't need any outfield help whatsoever. Let's see what other free agents have filed. If we look at it, Derek Hill's apparently the number 1 free agent. I mean, he's done okay in the last couple of years. He's a great center fielder, but not someone we're looking for. Brandon Woodruff, no. Jose Ramirez, well, I'm going to come back to him. Ranger Suarez, no. Johan Duran, what is he looking for? 1 year at $28 million. He would be literally the entirety of our budget if we did that. What about 1 year at 15? Jordan Alvarez. He already wants $50 million a year. Yeah, no. That's kind of where we checked in on him last time. Chris Sale wants $20 million over 4 years. I'm sorry, you're too old. I'm not going to do that to you. Ryan Jeffers, he wants to be a franchise catcher, which we don't need. And then Nick Martinez, he wants no. Let's go and see what other free agents are left in the pool. I mean, Riley Green? They let Riley Green walk? Jared Kelnick, we can't do because PTSD from other fans. Rafael Ramirez, no. Luis Garcia, no. Okay, so Jose Ramirez, you can see I offered him a 3-year deal. Let's go ahead and look at the offer history. We offered him $25 million, $22.5 million, and $20 million over the next 3 years, with all of them being team options. And I just think that he would be the last piece that would make this team go over the top. I don't really need the rest of anything over here. Riley Green, though, that is insane. Wow. We're going to look at pitchers now, and we're going to see if there's any pitchers that could help us. I mean, we saw there's Jeff Hoffman. Devin Williams is there. How much is Devin Williams wanting? 13.6 over the next 4 years. That's not terrible. Duvall ended up only doing 1 year. That's insane. Cutter Crawford, he's decent, but not really anything that we're looking at. I don't want to get any wrecked pitchers, so that's another thing that I need to look at. Yeah, okay, this is an interesting class. Like, there's a Jose Alvarado here who, as a lefty specialist, could come in and do a decent job for us. If I'm not mistaken, we offered him a contract and had to turn it down eventually. Garrett Cole could come in and do a job for us, but I mean, we don't need that type of a pitcher. We need to start letting some of our guys start coming up. The only thing that I want to look at is absolute back end of the bullpen help, which would be the Emmanuel Clase. 2 years, $24 million. If he were able to come down to $15 million for 3 years, yeah, no. Yeah, that's pretty much where we're at. We're going to go ahead and go to winter meetings and see if we can trade out of some of our contracts that we know we don't need and see if we can make any progress on some of our players. We are making a trade for back end bullpen help. We are trading the Texas Rangers, yes, a divisional team, but we are trading for Josh Hader. Still looks absolutely phenomenal here. Has a team option for $5.8 million, so I'm totally fine with that. And we're giving up Junior Caminero and Nolan Jones. I think that, again, Nolan Jones, I don't think we're going to need. Junior Caminero, I don't think we're going to need him either. He's been very average over the last couple of years, but I don't think he's going to translate well. And I just don't think that he's going to be the guy that we want him to be. So I'm just going to go ahead and get the back end bullpen help now whenever I know I can get it. We have traded Bryce Miller, and it's not for the package that you would expect. We traded him for Blake Snell, which I would say is a potential upgrade, depending on how you look at it. Also has a team option of $10 million for next season. So, I mean, it's going to be the same pitcher either way for next year. 2-time Cy Young Award winner, MLB champion. I like having him. We are also getting a Matthew Conti, Justin Jarvis, and Michael Mullinax, which Michael looks pretty decent. I like his peripherals. Justin Jarvis, just another depth pitcher, has 5 pitches and is just going to be an extra guy to have. Probably going to be called up at some point this year. And then Matthew Conti, I definitely remember wanting to draft him this past year with the personality class and stuff along those lines. He looks very decent, so pretty happy to go ahead and get him. And we have done it. We have signed Jose Ramirez. This is a big reason why I was willing to go ahead and trade away. And it's $25 million this year, 22.5 next, and 20 the year after that. I'm pretty stoked to go ahead and get him into the lineup. Let's go ahead and look at it. We already know Jose Ramirez is going to slot in at third base. We're going to have, everyone's just going to kind of slot down. Jose Ramirez, I think, is going to go right there in the 2-hole. Cal Riley 3, Brent Rooker 4, Julio Rodriguez 5, Joey Ortiz 6. Might find a different spot for one of them, but in between Brent Rooker, Cal Riley, Jose Ramirez, and Julio Rodriguez, we are in such a good position. Joey Ortiz and Trey Morgan also right there. So if Corbin Carroll, Cole Young, and Chandler Simpson can figure it out, we are going to be steady. I don't think that there's any reason that we should look at adding anything except maybe a Rule 5 pick to be a depth infielder / outfielder. Pitching wise, we're kind of in a little bit more of a mixed bag. We have Blake Snell that we just added, which he is going to slot in, I think, as our number 3. Number 2. We'll slot him in as our number 2. And yeah, we're just going to let these pitchers do a little bit more. And yeah, we're in a pretty good position that the next time you'll see me will probably be the Rule 5 draft pick. And we have made it to the Rule 5 draft. Yeah, at this point, we're probably not going to be doing too much. Looking at our Rule 5 eligible players, those first players that came in on the first year draft with Jonathan Kim and Merrick Houston, Tyler Cerny, players like that, they're starting to come up on Rule 5 eligible. So we need to start making decisions on these guys. Like Merrick Houston, is he going to be a guy who we want up in Major League Baseball? I think he is a guy that we do want up. So I'm going to make a decision on him. Josh Caron, I don't think so. Walter Ford, he hasn't made it above A ball, high A. He's going to be in AA this year, but it's we're not in a position to call these guys up yet. We're in a win now position, and these might just be guys that we're okay with them getting playing time elsewhere. Like Justin Jarvis is on the border because he has played 3 years in AAA, and he's just kind of an extra guy that we have. He's 28 years old. If he gets taken off of us, again, we made this trade, when was it? For Blake Snell. Oh, and of course it's not showing. But yeah, he was a key part of that trade. He wasn't the big piece, but he was just kind of like, hey, here's Bryce Miller, a dollar store Bryce Miller. And then our big pieces actually were Michael Molinax and Matthew Conti. Hoping that Matthew Conti does really well, but Michael Molinax, however you say his name, really hope that he does well for us. He may not have the bat, but he has everything else about him. Anyways, let's go ahead and jump into this Rule 5 draft. Let's get after it, and let's hope that we do not lose anyone. Yeah, it's not looking like we will lose anyone. And looking at it, I don't know if we're going to even draft anyone. We'll just have to see. I'll be right back if we do draft anyone. We are for sure going to make one pick here. We're going to go get this Ryan Lambert guy. If we look at his actual ratings versus right-handed batters, he's great. Versus left-handed batters, he's meh. But 35 stamina, so borderline starting pitcher. 2+ pitches already, a third one on the way. Like, this is a guy who I'm kind of stoked to go ahead and get. He may be a little susceptible to the long ball, but if this is his floor, I'm pretty happy about it. So, yeah, we're going to go ahead and draft Ryan Lambert here in the first round of the Rule 5 draft. And we decided just to make that one pick. Looking at it right now, just going over who was picked and where, it ended up going all the way to 5 picks. That's insane. It was the Padres and the Phillies who were really involved in everything. But looking at it, Michael McGreevy, he looks decent. Miguel Rodriguez, Yariel Padilla, a bunch of interesting guys. And again, we ended up going with Ryan Lambert. Ethan Hedges ended up going as well. That was an interesting pick. Jake Myers went. Hurston Waldrop. This is a guy who I would have liked to have eventually gotten. But yeah, no, not a lot of different picks here. Lance McCullers did end up going. I kind of figured that was going to happen. And yeah, that's pretty much all that's going down. Now's the time to go look at waivers. So let's go see if anyone is interesting on the waiver wire. No pitchers look to be interesting. Susan Chang, I mean, this guy is interesting, right? But he has just never hit. Why hasn't he hit? Is he... I feel like he should hit. I don't know. Not a guy who we're going to go pick up. We're not going to worry about it. Yeah, at this point, we're just going to keep playing the market, keep playing free agents, see if we can pick up anyone. But I don't think we're going to do much, if anything. Next time you see me is probably going to be international free agency. Well, it was a busy day for us. It is preseason now, and we just got Devin Williams. $12 million a year for the next 3 years. He looks like he's going to be decent. Apparently, we promised him the closer role, but with Mason Miller here, might be able to still give it to him. So let's see. I mean, we throw him into the closer role. We throw Mason Miller into that 8th inning and close game stopper role. And boom, we have the back 4 of our bullpen right there with a pretty solid assortment of players around them. Like we already know Patrick Forbes is going to go on to the 60-day IL. Josh Hader is going to go into that setup role, with Jeremiah Estrada going back into the middle relief role. And over here we have Christian Little, Ryan Lambert, which Ryan Lambert is going to go down to... Oh, no, Ryan Lambert's our draft pick. Mike Russell's going to play down in AAA just to start for a little bit. And then Luke Sennard, he's a guy who we're going to stash as well because he has options. And Micah Ashman, I think, is another guy who we're going to stash because he has options as well. So a few of these guys aren't actually on the roster. Like Luis Nieto being a. I'm not exactly sure how this guy is on our team right now. He's going to go down to AAA for sure. He looks good, but has absolutely no control. So we'll have to figure out what's going on there. Anyways, I come to you as well because Emmanuel Clase signed with the Athletics. He signed a $31.5 million deal for the next 2 years. Johan Duran signed with the New York Yankees for $41 million for 1 year. That's insane. Yordan Alvarez signed as well. We got a first-round pick. Yordan went to Chicago, signed a 5-year deal for $200+ million, 36.5, 42.5, and 45 over the next 3. I'm fine to let that walk. And yeah, we got Devin Williams for $36 million. So basically for the entirety of Emmanuel Clase's 1 year, we have him for potentially 3 with opt-outs after every single year. And you know what tomorrow is? It is my favorite day of the year. Let's go look at international amateurs and see who all we're going to go after. So I kind of already know who I am going to go after. This is probably one of my favorite players in the class. OSA is extremely high on him as well, but he has high work ethic. He has high adaptability. Who cares if he wants to get paid a little bit more? This is probably my 1B pick. If I had to actually make a pick, this is my 1A pick. Sure, there's extreme development risk. OSA absolutely loves him. He may not have the actual range to play in the center of outfield, but has 80 gap power with actual speed to take advantage of that. 75 I, 75 avoid K, 70 BABIP, 75 contact. This is a guy who's going to hit 50 doubles. The Wolf of First Street. What are we cooking with these nicknames? That's an awesome nickname, though. This is a guy who I'm not going to go for. He kept regressing. I don't think that bat's going to be anywhere near as good. Santiago Avila, he looks decent, but OSA is a little bit worse on him. I don't think he's going to progress as well. And then here are our last few. This guy looks great, but has nothing else other than a bat. This guy, I don't like the personality, but I like the peripherals. Francisco Rojas, I love everything about him minus his literally, those are the 2 must-haves for me. He looks like he's going to be a great player, though. And then, yeah, this guy wasn't good. These 2 guys are the guys who I'm going to go after afterwards. This guy specifically. The Schnoz, potentially can throw 100 miles an hour. Already has a decent fastball. Might not develop the changeup. He is fragile, but this peripheral, like, he already can go and play in our minor league system. We're going to just go ahead, offer you a contract. Did I miss the boat on this? We're just going to go in with $3,250,000 for you. And then let's just go ahead and offer Schnoz. This is Schnoz, right? Yep. He wants $3 million. More like $1 million. Nope. And you're going to have to come back to us. That's crazy. He wants $3 million. That's insane. So let's go ahead and just autoplay into next week, and hopefully we get all of our contracts signed here. Yeah, we're going to just go ahead and offer. No. He's not going to let us submit an offer. Yeah, that's so annoying. All right, so let's go ahead and look at this guy. Nope, it's broken. I think Santiago Avila was our next choice up, right? Yeah, I think it was Santiago Avila. Yeah. Let's go ahead and offer him a contract. Let's see if we can get him on that type of a contract. I doubt it. And looking at it, Dave Caballos went to the New York Yankees, and Barbed Wire went to the Rays. Good to know. Oh my God, we're not going to get any of the players we want. Yep, this is getting frustrating. Santiago Avila, is that who we offered the contract to? Yep. All right, so we're going to have to figure out who the heck we want. Give me a second, and I'll be right back. So we are going to offer a contract to Alfredo Diesel Lopez. We're going to see if he wants to take a $3.5 million deal. If he does, great. If he doesn't, whatever at this point. I think... Oh my gosh. Okay, at least we're going to be able to offer him the full option. Ooh, Tomojiro Matsui signed with the Kansas City Royals for $54 million. Oh my goodness. That is insane. Wow. And we have Alfredo Lopez. That's the entirety of our budget. If I knew we were going straight after a full budget, I definitely would have went for, what's his name? Dave Caballos. But that's sometimes the way that the cookie crumbles. Oh well. Apparently, we don't have any salary for next year. Yeah, we're going to be at $208 million. I mean, we're going to opt out of Mason Miller. Might have to opt out of someone else as well, but we'll figure that out when we get there. 208 million, 201, and then basically after 2031, we're gonna lose for sure Blake Snell, Mason Miller, Brent Rooker, Griffin Jacks, Jesus Luzardo, AJ Mentor, Keegan Akin, Josh Hader. That's why look at all those high-end relief pitchers. We absolutely are going to need to start turning this lineup over to some of our up-and-coming guys. So anyways, let's go ahead and jump into spring training. Let's go ahead and see what's going on with some of our dev people and get closer to opening day. And I just went through and updated my international complex, and we had a bunch of people either reach the age limit or, in this case, they're ready to face the minor leagues. It was some people are like this Andreas Castillo guy who isn't really good, but some of them are like this Pavlezhnin, whatever his name is, who looks like he's going to be okay, going to put the ball in play. Interesting. But just wanted to let you guys know that, hey, we actually are starting to get some of the people. And I believe this year's minor league free agent is already ready to face minor league players. Yeah, he not the greatest, but yeah, he is. Jose Bonilla as well, who was last year's big pickup. Looks like he's going to be phenomenal. If we can just get him to have a little bit more infield range increase, that would be huge, because if not, he's going to have to slot in at first base. But yeah, it looks like we actually are starting to get some of our minor leagues to develop. This guy also looks fantastic. Scouting discovery with a great personality, who's going to be a decent catcher for us. Absolutely love that. Other than that, we're chugging right along, trying to get to the spring training time. This guy was another guy. He's going to have otherworldly power. This is also not a guy who I like having around, but hey, when you have him, you have him. When you don't, you don't. So I'll just keep checking in whenever I let you guys know if anything else happens. We're just chugging right along to spring training, and we're about to see our developmental dev lab boosts to see if we actually get anything, and it should be tomorrow. But for now, I'm going to go ahead and set up the spring training lineups, and you'll see me for dev boosts. And we have made it to spring training, looking like we're ready to roll as well. Should be getting our dev lab boosts results, and it looks like there was one outstanding and one successful, the rest no improvement. So no improvement to Nestor Cafe, no improvement to Cole Young, no improvement quality of contact by Trey Morgan, no improvement by Lance William, no improvement by Tony Lopez, but successful stamina improvement by Josh Bell. Next year, I plan on moving him from... I plan on trying to get him a... a extra pitch. See if we can move him to the rotation. I don't know. Interesting. And then Cade Horton, potential curveball stuff improves. Hey, we'll take that. That's exactly what needed to improve. Yeah, let's see that. Awesome work. Awesome work. So now we're just going to go to player development lab. Dean Livingston's on track to improve his control. He was one that, like, if that control can just get all the way up to 45 or get a 45 and 50, he is going to be awesome. I think he's going to be awesome regardless. Looking at players on a roster that definitely need to have some improvements. Number one, I think it's time to throw Easton Carmichael in to get some improvements at catcher. I think he's going to be playing a lot more this year because what's-his-face has taken a step back in terms of development. Yeah, he's starting to fall off a little bit of a cliff. Don't like to see it, but I mean, it's kind of par for the course at this point. Chandler Simpson, is he a guy? No. Trey Morgan, if we can improve some of those outfield defense, let's go ahead and do that. I think that's pretty much all that I have to do. I want to look at my prospects. I know he's going to be a first baseman, so I don't care. This is a guy who I would love to see his infield defense improve. Same with Jose Bonilla, improve infield defense. Lopez, if we could get that outfield defense up a little bit, that would be awesome. Daniel Lamelli, if we could improve that, that infield defense is good. So that's fine. Where's our other guy? Ramon Romero. Yeah, if we can improve that outfield defense, that would be great. And then we have one more spot left. Let's go ahead and give it to John Gannon. Why not? Or John Gardon. Just because I know he's a guy who we want to have up eventually. So you're going to see me at the beginning of the season going through these lab results, and then we're going to go over our final rosters. And we are back. It is opening day here, and we are supposed to reach the playoffs as per John Stanton. Looking over it, we had an improvement, current control improvement by Dean Livingston. He looks like he's going to be really decent for us. If we want to negotiate, I think I wanted to look at an 8-year extension. He wants it to be about $65 million, so that's something to keep in mind. So he's going to be a Bryce Miller type for us. He's going to be that middle-of-the-road starter, not going to be too crazy, but hey, he's going to do a job. Also, huge Easton Carmichael improvement at catcher. Catcher arming rating improved by a lot, which that was the thing that was the lowest for him. OSA thinks that he is one of the best defensive catchers in the game. Absolutely love that. But no one else had any except Roberto Caraballo. he is going to be an awesome second baseman, maybe a shortstop, absolutely a third baseman. So he's a guy we drafted in the first round last year. Yeah, first round last year. And he looks like he's going to be phenomenal. Yeah, this was our first pick, and then Gary or whatever his name was the second pick. Everyone else pretty much had no improvement. Not the worst thing in the world, but hey, we take it where we get it. Top 100 prospects was published. I don't think we have anyone in the top 10, but let's go ahead and take a look, see who we have here. We got a lot of players. So Gary Kirby is here at number 59. We have Jose Bonilla, who's here at number 19. Daniel Onmeli, he's number 90. If we look at his history, he started at number 17, 12, 20, 53, 58, 89, 90. So he's dropping a little bit, but he's still up towards the top. And then we have Roberto Caraballo as our other guy that's up here as well. Looking at pitching prospects, we have Dean Livingston, who is making his major league debut on our roster. Well, not major league debut, but he's going to come to camp or come to wherever. And then we have Jonathan Kinchin, who was our first overall pick in 2027. Kind of struggled last year a little bit. I think he was shut down with a injury. No. But he's been slowly but surely dropping and dropping and dropping. But whatever. That doesn't matter because it's opening day. Let's go ahead and look at some preseason predictions for the Seattle Mariners. So we're going to have the exact same record that we ended with last year. It looks like the divisions are going to go through the East again. Looks like we're going to run away with stolen bases. We're going to hit a pretty good amount of home runs, but 242 stolen bases is insane. When the next team's at less than 200 and the team after that is at 150, yeah, we're by far and away going to be a very aggressive team on the base path. That's something that I adjusted going into this year. 784 runs looks to be pretty high in comparison to other teams. 676 against. The only team that I'm looking at, it's going to be Orioles, Red Sox, and us is what it looks like. The Tigers took a step back this year. The Rays took a step back after winning their World Series. And why is that? I don't know. But looking at our team, it doesn't look like we have anyone here in the pitcher side. And we have Julio Rodriguez, who's going to put up 25 stolen bases, 35 home runs, so a 2020 season for our budding superstar. And then we have Brent Rooker here, 40 home runs, 118 RBIs. Absolutely would love for Brent Rooker to come through like that. And the good thing is I'm not seeing Yordan Alvarez, and I'm not seeing Yordan Alvarez with the Chicago Cubs. Looking at it as well, Stephen Kolek, one of our former guys, is over there. And I think that's the only guy that I see that is former one of ours that's doing well. But again, this division goes through the Central and it goes through the Reds. Looks like the Rockies have finally turned it around. So Rockies fans, just know that 2029 is only half a decade around the corner for you guys to start actually putting things together. So that all being said, let's go look at our rotation, our everything. So as you'll notice, there is no Mason Miller. He went down with an injury, so that signing of Devin Williams looks even better. If we look at our spring training guys, if you look at it, yeah, we had some pretty decent pitchers in spring training. A couple of guys who weren't doing their usual stuff with Keegan Akin not doing too hot, but still 470. Connolly Early, Griffin Jackson, Cade Horton. But the rest of the squad was absolutely shoving. Jesus Luzardo, if he pitches well, might actually end up in the rotation, and we might move to a 6-man rotation because he was absolutely shoving. Yeah, like, this is a great rotation. We're going to go with Brian Wu to start, Blake Snell is number 2, Cade Horton number 3, Connolly Early number 4, and Dean Livingston as our 5th and final pitcher. We have Keegan Akin, Christian Little, and Jesus Luzardo is kind of our specialist long relievers. Christian Little might actually end up in our rotation as well because, I mean, he should be. He looks great. I think he's been a starter every single year in AAA and whatnot. So he might be a guy that we go ahead and call up. Josh Hader, Nestor Cafe, and AJ Minter will round out our middle relief core. If AJ Minter can continue to give us 60 innings at 3 ERA, we'll be very happy. If Nestor Cafe can go back to his roots of that AA and AAA performance, we'll be a lot happier with that. That 7.10 ERA, he might be the first guy going down if he pitches to this clip rather than his minor league clip, but we wanted to give him a little bit of a leash. And then Josh Hader. Last year, 3 ERA. Last year, sub 3 ERA over 60 innings. If we can get that out of him, out of the middle relief role, we will be very, very happy. On top of that, we have Jeremiah Estrada kind of stepping into that pseudo setup role. If we can get the sub 3 ERA over 60 innings again, we'll be very happy. Griffin Jacks being kicked out of the closer role, but that's because we just have the guys of Mason Miller and Devin Williams stepping into that role. With Griffin Jacks pitching to a sub 3 ERA over about 60 innings, that's our metric apparently. And then there's Devin Williams, who pitched to a sub 3 over 60 innings as well with Chicago last year. If we can get some more of that, let's just keep continuing. Looking at our lineups, we have a very good rotation or good lineup this year. We have, and this is subject to change. I haven't fully said, hey, this is what our order is going to be, but I've kind of decided, you know what, this is what it's going to be. We have Chandler Simpson, Cole Young, Julio Rodriguez, Brent Rooker, Jose Ramirez, Corbin Carroll, Cal Riley, Trey Morgan, and Joey Ortiz batting in the lineups. If we look at the split, this is spring training. I want to see OPS. So Easton Carmichael absolutely had a breakout, but it was Julio Rodriguez, Cole Young, Cal Riley also did great. Chandler Simpson, Jose Ramirez were kind of our big guys in the lineup. And then Wingsai and Brent Rooker were also people not to sneeze at, where Corbin Carroll, Trey Morgan, and Joey Ortiz were kind of the odd men out. But Merrick Houston has made the roster. He overall had just the same infield, outfield range as I want to say Lazaro Montez, but I know that's wrong. But has a much better bat to go along with it. His OBP wasn't great, but when he hits the ball, it goes exactly where it needs to go. Same with Wang Tsai. He's just another left-handed bat off the bench. Great contact bat. Great personality class. Wants to be a bench player. This is exactly the type of guy that I want on the bench. But with Trey Morgan and Chandler Simpson as kind of like the pseudo left field platoon / hey, Chandler Simpson can play really decent contact bat with a really decent outfield. He can't play right field, but in between the 4 outfielders that we do have, it should be covered. And then Easton Carmichael, who, if we look at his stuff, successfully completed a defense training in the complex, looks absolutely great. And yeah, like he is a guy who I am very excited to see an update on him. He is the heir apparent waiting in the wings for Cal Riley, and Cal Riley looks to be slowing down just a little bit. If we look at his scouting, it's starting to tick down, but he's still an above average big league catcher. So having an above average big league catcher and he is league average if patient at the plate, backup catcher due to his defensive skills. Yeah, that's exactly what we need. That's all we need. So sorry if you can hear any noise in the background. Again, it's construction at the apartment. It is opening day. We have our lineup set. We are ready to go, and I will see you guys next time. If you guys stuck around all the way to the end, I really appreciate it. I know there was a long talk at the beginning about the housekeeping items, but really appreciate you guys. If you're going to understand, if you're going to unsubscribe, totally understand. It's free to do. It's your time. Use it how you want it. Totally get it. But I hope to see you later. Take care. Thanks for watching.